Diesel, 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 forecourt covered in diesel, road rash. Good morning everybody, Calm Biker here. On my way to the office again. I'm doing pair programming at the minute. It's not really programming, we're doing a data warehouse, not that that's particularly exciting unless you're like me and you like that kind of thing. But that means that I'm spending all day, every day on a call, not phone call, Skype call, sharing screens with a colleague. And it means it's tricky to get my lunchtime rides in, so I'm having to rely on weekends and trips to the office. I seem to always get the rain as well. Not much fun, although this morning, no rain. A little bit damp. Cold though. I thought about putting my summer gloves on, and then I got the bike out with no gloves on and thought, oh, this is cold. Maybe give that a miss. Anyway, same colleague today is going to get a treat that isn't cold. Whether he got a treat or not, I don't know. I made a curry the other week and I froze a lot of it. When I make a curry, I tend to go with a big pot. I've got I think it's about 8 litres my pot. Blooming big anyway. And I got a bit excited with the spice this time. I like my curry to be hot. But I think I might have gone a bit over the top. They didn't have the chili powder I wanted at the shop, so I bought some of these chili flakes. Bird's eye chilies. Northern Vlogger ate a load and sweated, and that's pretty much the effect my curry has at the minute. Tell you what, Northern Vlogger, if you want a challenge, I think this beats your raw chilies. But yeah, I put these chili flakes in and tasted it about 5 minutes later. I thought, I ain't very hot. And I'm guessing it's because the chili flakes don't get into the flavour as quickly as normal chili powder would do. So I put in some more, and I put in about 1.5 boxes of these bird's eye chilies. We're coming up to New Road. Exciting, isn't it? You can see this road now has eased congestion because it's always completely busy at rush hour like now. And although I'll probably upload this later, this isn't school holidays, this is just what this road is like all the time. Anyway, so I put in about 1.5 boxes of these chilies and what chili powder I had left, and about a jar, you know, the little tiny jars of spices and whatever that you get from the supermarket. About a jar of ginger. And anyway, the following day when it was ready to eat, because we like to, you know, cook it, simmer it, and then let it cool down and let the flavours really infuse. It's become liquid fire. It's absolutely, it's almost inedible. So the guy at work, he reckons that he likes a hot curry, so I thought we'll give him a pot and see what he thinks. So he's getting a treat or a torture, depending on how you look at it. Anyway, I thought I would tell you a story today, finally. It was a story I remembered the other day because of something that was happening at our work. And I told this story to the people on the development team, the wider development team, not just the developers, but everyone from the business who comes along and helps us to understand the requirements of the business. So it's a bit of everybody really. It's about 10 people usually turn up at the meetings out of a possible 15. So I thought I'd tell this story because we were talking about ATMs, you know, the automated teller machine. What we used to call the hole in the wall, where you get your money out from the bank without actually having to go in the bank. And we were talking about them because we've got some associated with our business, and we've been having a few problems. I thought I would explain how the problems that we're having are not as bad as the problems that I've come in contact with in the past. And one of those things I've come into contact with in the past was when I used to work for a bank. I mean, I've worked for a few banks. I'm not one of them bankers that everyone hates. Those scapegoats for poor government decisions. Oh, political. It's all right. Rewind. No, but I was doing software development for banks for, let me think, 3 banks in total that I've worked for. Anyway, one of them, this was back when the cash machines had a little door. I don't know if anybody will remember that. Nowadays, cash machine, basically a box in a wall, dispenses cash. Back then, you had a little door, so there was a slot for your card to go in, but you couldn't get to the keypad where you type in your PIN and tell it how much money you want, and get disappointed by how little money's left. And you couldn't get to the screen or anything like that because they were worried about vandalism. So they had a little plastic door, I think it was, or reinforced glass or something. It was, you could hit it with a hammer and it wouldn't break, was the principle. Although quite a few of them did get broken. So you put your card in, and this door would kind of slide out the way and reveal the keypad, and you could then start typing in what you needed to type in to get your money out. Anyway, at one bank that I worked at, they came to this machine one morning. Now I must warn you, this story's a bit disgusting, so if you don't like disgusting stories of the ilk of the infamous bikers, the day I pooed in my girlfriend's bed story, then you might want to look away now, or at least put your fingers in your ears. So, somebody got to the cash machine one morning, and one of the problems they would have with all kind of things that you'd stick outside is your Saturday night drunk would pee on them. Now, this morning, when they got to the cash machine, somebody had gone one better. They'd pooed in it. And I do mean in it. So somebody had come along, put in the card, had a valid card, the screen had slid open, and they'd had a poo on the keypad. Then they'd taken the card out and the screen had slid closed, spreading said defecation over the screen, keypad and everything, and making a mess that nobody wanted to clean up. Now you can imagine that's pretty disgusting. I mean, I wouldn't want to clean it up. And it's unfortunately back then they didn't have CCTV everywhere, and they didn't necessarily have the ability to record when the poo was deposited. I would imagine they could go back and work out who took money out last, because it would take a special level of drunk to actually take money out after the deposit had been made, if you like. Anyway, I don't know what happened about that. They may well have tracked that person down and given them the bill. Now the bill was a little bit higher than they expected, because you would think, alright, well, bit nasty, 50 quid maybe, 100 quid, get someone to clean it up. Some bright spark at the bank said, I know what we could do. Rather than going to the full hog of having to pay someone professional to come out, why don't we nip across the road to the job centre and just offer somebody in the queue 20 quid to clean it up? Somebody who's queuing up to sign on, they're allowed a bit of cash in hand. I don't think they were allowed 20 quid, but give them 20 quid anyway, cash in hand, to clean the machine. So that's what they did. They went across the road and said, would anybody like to do this for 20 quid? And somebody said, yeah, alright, I'll give it a go. I will be happy with 20 quid for that particular job. So this guy came back across, and they went into the bank and said, well, we'll get you some water and bleach and all that kind of stuff. And they came out with a bucket, and they ran a hose pipe out to the bucket so the guy could refill his bucket if he needed to use more than one bucket. Bottle of bleach, all that kind of stuff. Anyway, this guy was an enterprising chap. He'd got his 20 quid. So he got them to open the little glass door. He turned on the hose pipe, full blast, put his thumb over the end to get the pressure up, and essentially jet washed the ATM machine. Whoosh! It went absolutely everywhere, and he jet washed it all the way, got it clean, chucked a lot of bleach on it, washed it off again, and off he went with his 20 quid in his hand. Unfortunately, what he left behind was an ATM that was spotless, absolutely spotless, and bleached, so there was probably not a germ left on it. Unfortunately, jet washing 20 or 30,000 pounds worth of ATM turns out isn't very good for it. So to save 50 or 100 quid in cleaning, they ended up having to spend another 20,000 pounds on a new ATM because he actually destroyed it. Anyway, I hope you weren't eating when you watched this one. That was my ATM story. So thanks for watching, everyone. Ride safe, leave those ATM machines alone, and I'll talk to you all again soon.